Workman's comp and accident and injury books with you guys.
Okay.
Every fire station is going to have one of these folders.
Okay.
We'll have one here in admin, we'll have one in each station. We've changed our workman's comp. I think that one, we've changed our workman's comp to 7710 insurance company. So again, this book, you guys should keep it at a location at the fire stations where it's easily accessible, where everybody knows where it is. If you open it up, each section is broken down into example, master, and blanks. The example is going to go through, kind of talks about the policy, gives you some directions on the policy holder, refers to you as a policy holder and kind of goes over an overview. It's going to give you instructions on how to use this kit. So if you go to the first page, there's a step 1, step 2, step 3. So first thing we do is with our policy is we're going to utilize this if there's an accident involving a work-related accident, injury, or illness. What we want to do, or potential exposure. So what we want to do is if that occurs, the first thing we do is we're going to status that unit out of service. You're going to have to status that unit busy. So if you hurt your back on the squad and you're down there, first thing is a status that unit busy, out of service, because we don't want you to go on another call and exasperate that injury. It should be an immediate phone call to your immediate supervisor, and then immediate notification to the duty chief. There's two different types of reporting. Essentially, you're reporting for medical treatment and you're reporting for notification. Notification only is, man, I just, like if you're lifting the EMS boxes into the truck and you kind of just felt a little weird and you're like, hey, I'm fine, I don't need to go to the hospital, I don't need to go get checked out. I just, I just want to make note of this. Always make note of it. There's nothing wrong with the notification, because if you go home on your 4-day and then all of a sudden you can't get out of bed, if you come to us, it's harder. How can I put this? It's easier to work with you if you already have that notification, and there's less chances of workman's comp denying your claim if we have a good paper trail.
So there's no triplicate forms like the old copper pot?
Oh, we're getting into those, yeah. There's no, yeah, we're no longer be using, that's a good question. Don't use the copper point forms anymore. We don't need to be using those. The claims kit, medical treatment, refer to injured worker. So if you go through this, what to do when an injury occurs, step 1, medical treatment, immediately refer injured worker to the closest directed care, medical clinic, or emergency room. That medical treatment also involves us treating you. So if you fall and cut your arm open and we're providing medical treatment, that's us treating you as well. Report to your work-related injury or illness to a supervisor. Before you get to that, also know that if you, it says to call 911. We are 911. So, but if you're here by yourself, you need to get somebody coming. Supervisor completes the employer's report of industrial injury, and it's an individual state form. So that form is going to be in this packet. That's through the Industrial Commission of Arizona. That would be for you to fill out as their immediate supervisor. The employee is going to complete a workers' comp injury notice. It's Form B. Supervisor will complete the supervisor's report of injury. Any witnesses, we'll have to have witness statements from people. So Pitts is out there talking to somebody on the phone and he slips in the bay and you happen to see him. We need a witness statement from you. And we need witness statements to include as much detail as possible. All right, workman's comp is not us as the agency denying the claim. It's the insurance company. So we want to do what we can to protect you as the employee as much as possible. So I just don't want to, something written. I was walking through bay and slipped and hurt elbow. What were you doing? Was there something wet on the floor? Was there... Also keep in mind too, this is something for you to really always keep in the back of your head. Your PPE and utilizing appropriate PPE. So if if OSHA requires you to have steel toe boots in the bay, and you open a compartment and a Halligan bar drops on your foot, you're wearing tennis shoes, there's a potential for that to be denied. So the reason we were able to save so much money this year is because we haven't had a lot of claims. Last year we had 2. Both of those are easily preventable. So you know, the trick here to be successful is prevention, prevention, prevention. Every incident is preventable. Witness statement, all right, we talked about the witness statement. So then employee's gonna complete an authorization to disclose, release, and use protected health information. Employee will complete a medical treatment provider list, and the supervisor will scan in and claim. Before you guys submit, we'll review and do the final scans. So you won't have to be scanning in.
So basically just put all the paperwork together, submit it to you.
Yep.
Because you're the health.
I'm the health and safety coordinator, so submit it to me. If it is an accident or injury requiring transport or treatment, I'll more than likely already be involved and be the one bringing them down. And you know, so like, if we have somebody at work lacerate their hand and need stitches, you know, you would take them off duty, you'd start this paperwork, you'd do the notifications to me. If I'm the duty chief, I would come in and get that person and bring them for treatment. And at that point, we'd have to backfill if need be, so on and so forth. So
And this is in addition to the safety committee?
we have it all built out into one. So the claims, that's a good question. The claims kit, we added some stuff in it to kind of reflect what we need as an agency. So it has some examples in here. There are some blank forms. Please don't use the blank forms in this example tab. That's just a packet that they give us. If you go through to where it says, the next tab says master. Every book will have a master copy, it's in color. Please don't write in the master copy. These are going to be our Palominas Fire District accident and injury packets. If you go to the first page, it's Palominas Fire District Safety Incident Report. Yes, this will be filled out and accompany the workman's comp packet. Any questions on the safety incident report? Next form is going to be a fuel, drug, alcohol screening form. There is a policy, our HR policy does outline when we should drug screen or screen for drugs or alcohol. Essentially it just boils down to if you're seeking medical treatment, then you're going to get tested. At any time the employer can or supervisor can ask. You know, if it's something grossly negligent, we may, like it's kind of a case by case, but if, you know, you're walking by on a structure fire, you're walking by, you got your helmet on, you're all your proper PPE, and a tile off the roof comes down and hits your head, we're probably not gonna drug test you. I mean, how's that really negligent on your behalf? Unless it's something that you weren't paying attention to situational awareness. But it's all outlined in the HR policy. It's in there in case you need it. All right, only supervisors can do the UAs, so captains or acting captains can do the UAs. There's an information sheet in the UA kit. We'll tell you how to go through the UA. We have to document the lot number and all that stuff. If there is a positive UA, you save it. If there's something you suspect is positive, you save it. We'll have another supervisor confirm. If we see a positive result, and we send that individual off to either High Desert or Copper Queen for further testing. So we do not look at that and say yes, positive. We need to have an actual lab look at it. All right, notification of work-related injury. So that's the first 7710 insurance form. That's your notification of work-related injury. This you could utilize, I was not injured during the paper, but if you wanted to go ahead and write, what we look for is if you're doing a notification, we look for a safety incident report saying you're not having treatment. You could also accompany it with an incident report. We just need something clearly identifying whether or not you're seeking medical treatment. That part right there needs to be clearly identified. Was medical treatment offered to you? And everybody here has the option to go get treated. So you need to clearly state, and for supervisors, we need you guys to clear, yes, I offered treatment, denied treatment, this is notification only. Worker, all right, so Form B goes through workers' comp injury notice. This is to be filled out by the employee. Any questions on this form? It's pretty self-explanatory. Are there any witnesses? If so, you'd have witness forms attached to it. Describe your injury. Describe your injury and the incidents leading up to it in as much detail as you can. The next form, Form C, is your supervisor's report of injury. This should be the supervisor's report should accompany this packet as well. Again, as much detail as possible. If there isn't a supervisor present, then you can have, you're still going to fill that out, right? So if they're at Station 1, you would still fill this out, but you would have to definitely collect witness statements from everybody at Station 1. Okay, any questions on Form C? Okay, Form D is your witness statement. Everybody that saw it, please fill out a witness statement. Again, as much detail as possible. You're not filling out a witness statement to get that individual in trouble. You're there to simply state facts, not opinions. Simply state facts. That you're doing this to protect the employee, protect the agency. You're helping the situation and protecting all parties involved. We'll go through, that completes Form D. Then you're going to see Form E. This is your authorization to disclose, release, and use PHI or HIPAA protected material or information. This would have to be completed and submitted with your packet.
That's filled out by the employee.
It's filled out by the employee, yes. Medical treatment provider list. For injured employee to complete. Notification of the work. Please list any medical providers that have treated you for medical problems within the past 1 to 15 years. This would be for you to submit and with the packet, so if you've seen any doctor for any reason, you would submit this as well. You guys have any questions on this so far? It's kind of a lot of paperwork, isn't it? Okay, the other form in here, and this brings us to the last form, is our Industrial Commission of Arizona Employer's Report of Industrial Injury. This form is through the ICA, and this form has to be completed in the packet as well. There's some stuff for the employee to fill out, and then there's stuff for the, so under employee, the employee can fill out their name and so on and so forth. This can also be filled out by a supervisor, so if the employee is not able to obtain a lot of this information, we can fill it out for them as well. Cause of accident, employee's wage data, all that stuff. So this form would be turned into the Industrial Commission of Arizona. Oh, I'm sorry, correction guys, this is for the employer to complete, not the employee. I'm sorry. So, the ICA form is for the employer to fill out, not the employee. I apologize. Okay? So, one less form. If you look into the back, if you look at the back of the folder, there's going to be 3 packets put together. If you guys happen to go through and use a packet, just submit an email to Brittany or the admin assistant and ask them to replace one. Or you can make a copy of the master and stick it back in here, but we'd like to keep 3 at every station. We need to know where these are at every fire station, because if we're working an incident or we're out, and I may send hey, somebody run back, go grab the workers' comp folder and bring it out to me. I'm going to try and keep one in my truck as well, so I have one in case we're out and about. Any questions on this stuff so far? All right, again, if there's anything that happens you need to notify, by all means notify. If you don't notify, it's a lot harder for your claim to be successful. It could potentially negatively affect the outcome of your claim if you go home on your 4-day, because at that point, how can workers' comp prove that you truly did it at work? And understand it's not the agency. It then becomes an issue between the employee and our workers' comp insurance. The agency is pretty much, for the most part, taking out of it. We don't have the decision to say, yes, we agree, or no, we don't. We're going to be involved in the investigation and the claim, But claims being denied are not by the agency denying it. It's by the workers' comp insurer. So again, as employees, please protect yourselves. Put as much information in there as you can. Make sure if you feel something, back injuries are one of the highest rated injuries in the fire service. If you feel something kind of tweak, there's nothing wrong, fill out a safety incident report. You don't need to complete this whole entire packet for notification. What we really need is a safety incident report, and maybe follow it up with an incident report, and we need something clearly stating that they're either accepting or refusing. Now, if you refuse medical treatment, let's say you get hurt on a Tuesday, and you're like, you know what, I'm good, I start my 4-day, I just want to go home and see how this feels, just kind of tweak my back a little, woke up, felt a, whatever, maybe I woke up in the morning and it hurt, and then you go home on your 4-day, there's nothing wrong with 2 days later, you can't get out of bed, call us here at admin, hey, I'm hurt, I need to go get treatment for this, and we've already got the paperwork started on you, so it's easy to continue.
Okay, so again, we're going to go over the accident injury workbook. This is the administration copy, and one of these books should be placed in every fire station that we have. When you open it, you're going to have dividers, and the first divider is going to say example. When you open this one, this is going to be our example copy, and if you go through this first packet, it'll give you a step-by-step process for you to follow while completing a workman's comp claim. There are also forms in this packet. Each of them already have been filled out to utilize as an example when filling out the forms. Again, if you have questions with this, you would contact the duty chief or your direct supervisor and ask them for assistance. When we flip over to the master is going to be our master copy. This copy we should utilize only to make copies if we run out of the packets in the binder. The back of the binder are going to be our packets for us to fill out in the event of an accident, injury, or illness when filing a workman's comp claim. We're going to go ahead and come back to the master packet. Again, please don't utilize this packet. This one is to make copies. If you run out, then make copies of this one, place this one back into the folder, and utilize the copies you've made. The first form we go to is the Palominas Fire District Safety Incident Report. As you look through this form, it's going to ask you a series of questions that you and your supervisor should be able to fill out. The Safety Incident Report is for the Palominas Fire District records, and these are reviewed by the Safety Committee. Page 2. Please place as much detail in here as possible. The next page is going to be a field drug alcohol screening form. This form is utilized in the event that an employee needs to have a field drug or alcohol screening completed as outlined within our HR policy. The first form we come to is a notification of work-related illness. This form is to be completed and turned into a supervisor as quickly as possible. The next form is your workers' compensation injury notice, and this is to be filled out by the employee. All forms are confidential and should be kept in a confidential envelope to protect all HIPAA and PHI. The workers' compensation injury notice again is filled out by the employee and turned in with the packet. Again, all this information should be kept confidential. The next page we're going to come to is the second part of Form B. This is going to indicate any prior history that you've had or any other medical attention that you may have received. I apologize. All right, this is a supervisor's report of injury. This is to be completed by the direct supervisor and turned in with the packet as well, also remaining confidential. This is the second part of the supervisor's report. We're going to turn to Form D, which is your witness statement. Any and all witnesses that witness the incident should fill one of these out and include as much detail as possible, be as descriptive as possible as well. This is the second part of Form D, also the witness statement. And again, you're understanding that falsification of the statement or any misrepresented information contained in the statement can result in disciplinary action. This is the authorization to disclose and use protected health information to remain HIPAA compliant. This is to be filled out by the employee that is actually injured or ill. We have a medical treatment provider list. This is to be filled out by the employee as well. Any past medical treatment that they've ever been provided, they should list their medical providers, and any medical problems within the past 1 to 15 years should be listed on this form. The last form is the Industrial Commission of Arizona form, ICA 04-0101, revised in July of 2001. This form is to be filled out as well, and this form is filled out by the employer. This form is also included in the packet. Please do not fill this out. Only administration should be filling out this form. And that concludes the review of our workers' compensation book. Again, these books will be located at each facility and fire station. They should be kept in an obvious location where all employees know where they are at all times. Thank you.